Now, good day everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll show you how easy it can be to cook for a vegan potluck with a simple pizza recipe. So I put 2 decils of water to heat up there, and I grounded 1 teaspoon of salt since we actually didn't have any normal plain salt in the house, but obviously you just add 1 teaspoon, right? Then I measured 2 teaspoons of dry yeast, which ended up being about the whole packet actually, and I mixed it to the flour that I'll be adding later on. So it's very important that the water is not too hot or the yeast will not like it, so I swirled it around for a bit to cool it down and also to combine it with the salt that was still a bit grainy, to be honest. And then I added the flour and the yeast in 2 steps, so 5 decils of flour, and just mixed it a little bit. And then I added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, or until just it didn't stick to my fingers anymore, right? It's super easy. And finally I let it rise in a warm place under a cloth for 30 minutes. So this is the fun part, in my opinion. You get to add whatever vegetables you like. So I decided to make 2 pizzas. One of them was zucchini and garlic, and the other one was bean and mushroom pizza with both the same base with tomato and onion. So the beans had actually soaked overnight and I was just cooking them whilst preparing the other veggies. And you can also use canned beans, but this way it's just a bit more nutritious and has less waste. Now, instead of oil, I actually add water to cook the vegetables with. It works just the same, and without interfering with the flavor, it's making the pizza that much more healthier. Now, you don't actually have to pre-cook the vegetables at all if you don't want, but I like to cook them a bit to add some flavor and color to them. The reason I like adding balsamic vinegar is because it really brings out the taste of the vegetables with its sweetness. But half of the time I don't use it, so no worries whatsoever if it's not one of your staples. So next we can start rolling the dough, since you should let it rise a bit again before adding the toppings. I split it in half and roll out 2 round bases on top of some parchment paper. You can also make 1 big tray from the same amount like my mom does, but I'm doing it like this since we're making 2 different flavored pizzas, right? So now is a good time to crank up the oven to 225 Celsius. And when it comes to pizza without cheese, the tomato base is crucial since you don't want your pizza to end up dry. So you can use a tomato puree as well, but I really love the chunks in there. And now that we have everything done, we can start the assembly. And again with tomatoes, spread them all over since you don't really want any dry spots.
That feels good!
And for the zucchini pizza, I actually left some onions uncooked since I love those on a pizza, but not too much. And of course some fresh beautiful tomato that I like to rip to parts. And then you repeat. Personally, I actually like to put the pizza first down or like middle to cook the base well, but then I feel like the top is not cooking properly, so for the other 10 minutes I move it higher in the oven. So here we go, nothing tricky about that, right? Now normally I would make this on some chill evening with friends around and a glass of wine, but as I was going to a vegan potluck I made it in the morning. Now I added some nutritional yeast in the end for that cheesy flavor, but of course you can use vegan cheese since there are lots to choose from. But to be honest, I really don't miss it in this recipe at all. Now you don't have to be a vegan to go to a vegan potluck. You can make something simple and go see the variety of food people have brought. There was vegan cheese, chorizo, spring rolls, pies, tofu with sauces, and my humble pizza of course, and so much more as people came in. One guy even brought some crazy good Asian food from a nearby restaurant. Wow. And of course, phenomenal desserts. But of course it's not just about eating, we also made a collage about uniting animals and humans, and it was so much fun getting to know new people all together. So don't be nervous but instead participate. But if you don't know yet how to find these events, on my Facebook page I share different vegan events in the Geneva area amongst other things, and on Instagram I often share all things related to veganism, but mainly what I eat in a day on my stories. So go check them out if you're interested, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.